The fruit of the Spirit we learned at church camp, right? All right, during our children's camp, it was called the fruit of the Spirit. The Spirit is God, amen? The Spirit and God are one, correct? The Spirit was the Spirit that guided Christ through His walk here on this earth. And we have been given that Spirit. And in Galatians chapter 5, just so that you know, verse 25 and 26, I believe it is the listing of the fruit of the Spirit. And in that listing are all the characteristics that God has shown to man, that God has revealed to us, that God, through Jesus, through His love, through His kindness, through His sacrifice, through His forgiveness, through His faithfulness, through all of this, He has shown us how we are to love. And so Jesus tells His disciples, you are to love one another like I have loved you. What that simply means is this. You and I should be going around seeking to love people in ways that they could never, ever deserve it. Because isn't that how He loved us? He loved us in spite of ourselves. He loved us when we were unlovable. He loved us when we did foolish things. He loved us when we did blasphemous things. He loved us when we did things that were blatantly wrong in His face. And just kind of like when we were kids and we looked at our parents and were disobedient to them to their face. We've been that way to God. And He's been so long-suffering, so patient with us. God tells His disciples, Jesus tells His disciples, our job now is to try to love one another like that. And He gives this clue in 35. By this, all will know that you are my disciples. Who's going to know it? Everybody. Whose disciples are we? We talk about being Pocola First Baptist, and we are Pocola First Baptist. But I'm going to tell you this, that title is not near as important as being a child of Jesus. Amen. And we do a lot of good things, and we have a lot of good times. We're known for our food. We're known for our fireworks. Our fireworks shows can be really strange and wonderful. We're known for a lot of things in our community. But if they don't know us by our love for one another, then we're just useless bells. Ringing loud, sounding good. But we're not making a difference. Part of sharing your story that we talked about this morning, part of this living in the fruit of the Spirit that we talked with the children at church camp, all of this is about making sure the world around us knows that God is alive and well. That God's love and mercy and grace is powerful and true, and that it endures and lasts forever. And Jesus, talking to His disciples, tells them that this one thing, this one item, this one emotional action of eternity, this thing called love. And I call it an emotional action because it has emotion in it, it has action in it, and it's supposed to be eternal. This one thing called love is the key that sets us apart from everyone else. Now, there's probably not a one of us in here that doesn't have something in our life that is a symbol of Christianity some way, somehow. Courtney, you wearing your bracelet tonight? TJ's got his bracelet on. Anyone got a necklace with a cross on it? Anyone got a fish symbol on their car or something like that? Yeah, we got Christian T-shirts. We've got there's a $1 billion industry in just items that are to represent our Christianity, that we can wear, that we can use as jewelry. That Ann's got this necklace and these earrings that when you turn it one way it looks like a cross, when you turn it another way it looks like a fish. And it's an amazing little piece of jewelry, and there's some very creative people out there doing some wonderful things in jewelry and other ways that we can have symbols. Even some people use tattoos and put tattoos on themselves as symbols. I wouldn't put a tattoo on me because I'm too big of a chicken. But, you know, the truth is this. Listen to me. You can put all the symbols on you want in the world. It doesn't mean you're a Christian. I mean, I can walk around wearing a Big Mac wrapper suit, and it doesn't mean I'm a Big Mac. I can go put on a KFC bucket on my head, and it doesn't mean I'm chicken. I would be a bucket head, yes I would. Thank you, sir. Wait till you preach next. I will be heckling you too. You'll find out. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself, but Jesus said the one thing that would reveal the reality of who you are in your heart is right there. One thing, nothing else. One thing. You can boil the entire Christian existence truly down to this one thing. If we have love for one another, everything else will take care of itself. Because you see, if you got love for one another, when you see your brother hurting, you're going to go help them. And their needs are going to be met. You got love for one another, you're going to see someone in this world that doesn't know Jesus, that is struggling under the load of their sin. You're going to go show them you care, and you're going to be able to speak into their life the love of Jesus Christ. You got love for one another. When you have trouble, you're going to know that you can call on your friends in the church, your friends in the family. And they're not going to look down at you. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to turn their back upon you. They're going to be there for you. See, the truth is, the reason why we're not as powerful as we should be is because we haven't been as loving as we should be. We've been focused more on what people think of us than we are on how Jesus thinks about us. We've been focused more on what people perceive us to be or what our image is individually or as a church than we ever have been about truly being the loving Christians God has called us to. By this, all will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. Out of all of that, out of all that commandment, out of all those things, I want you to look in verse 36. Peter says to him, says, Lord, where are you going? If Jesus was me, if I was Jesus, I'd have looked at Peter and said, oh really, out of all that information I just gave you, you pull the whole card of where am I going? How about some batteries?
We can hear you just fine. Go ahead, Daniel.
You can hear me just fine?
Yep.
Well, my battery's dead. I heard it go out. Yeah.
We're all quiet. We can hear you just fine.
There we go. Now I'm back. Out of all the things that Peter could have pulled, he pulls the question, where are you going? And Jesus said, where I'm going, you cannot follow me now, but you shall follow me afterwards. And Peter said to him, Lord, why can't I not follow you? I would lay down my life for your sake. And Jesus answered him and says, will you really lay your life down for my sake? Most assuredly I say to you, the rooster will not crow till you have denied me 3 times. In this passage, Jesus reveals to Peter that his love for him is not as deep as he thinks it is. Peter is convinced that there is no thing, there is no person, there is no power that can keep him from following Jesus. He wants to know where Jesus is going because in his mind, he has assured himself that Jesus is the #1 person and nothing else matters. He will follow Jesus to the very end. Jesus reveals to him one fact. Tonight you're going to deny me 3 times. Church, listen to me. You can say that you love Jesus. You can say you love one another. But I challenge you to question that statement by evaluating your recent actions. I'm not saying we're bad people. I'm not saying that we're doing wrong. What I'm saying is this. If the one thing that sets us apart from all the world is the love we have for one another, shouldn't we constantly be evaluating ourselves by that statement? Would you agree with me on that? Oh, I know, I got you speechless now. I went to Midland, I know. But if the one thing that sets us apart from everyone else, from everything else, if the one thing that says point blank, you are a child of God, is the amount of love you show for other people in this world, not your friends, not just your family, not just your neighbors, not just your church, your fellow church members, everybody around you. A person walking down the street, the lady at the Walmart cash register, the man at the butcher shop, the man down at the gas station, the woman over next door, the lady down the street. If it is the love that we have for others that sets us apart from every other person in this world, should we not continually be evaluating ourselves to make sure that we are loving others the way that we should be? I think, yeah, you better believe we should. And the truth is, there's a lot of love in this church. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been in many churches with more love than this. But I would also say this. I think there's more we can do. I think there's more that we must do. I think there's some action, mission work that we need to be focusing on, reaching out in our community, to do more to show them the love of God that is alive and well in this house. I'm going to do a quick head count here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34. I'm running out of fingers. 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48. Thank you. 50, 52, 56. I'm running out. Okay, so we got 60 on a Sunday night.
Sunday night, wow.
Do you think God's doing something great in our midst?
Yes.
60 on a Sunday night. Huh? If I stopped where you think I stopped at 68? Okay, well, I just said, I'm not one of these pastors that embellishes. I go backwards. You know how that goes. I'm going to say 60. Leave me alone. In 60 on a Sunday night, with 60 on a Sunday night, it means one of two things. Either God is doing something great or you're all here to fire me. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, dear. I'm willing to bet that my love for Christ and my love for them has shown well. Now, I'm going to err on the side of the first one that you're here because God is doing something great. Now, the question I have for you is this. If what we have been doing, which isn't as great as we know we all should be, but if what we have been doing has brought growth and has brought new believers and has touched our community and made a difference already, what if we actually put some stronger effort into our loving others outside of the community? What do you think could happen then? Okay, I got you speechless again.